Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another edition of your favorite show, the one, the only Reds View. Of course, I am your gracious host, the most honorable J Red, DJ J Red, whatever you want to call me. All right. Now, before I begin this video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure that you hit the like or the dislike button. It's all good. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, which is youtube.com/RedsView. Scrolling across your screen right there. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. My. Have the tables turned. Have the tables turned. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to celebrate Marlon Wayans' victory over Vlad TV. We're going to celebrate Marlon Wayans, the legendary Marlon Wayans from the legendary family, the family dynasty, comedic dynasty, the Wayans family. He celebrates a victory over Vlad TV. Now, what are you talking about, J Red? Well, if you've been hiding under a rock, you probably don't remember DJ Vlad calling out Marlon Wayans, unwarranted. Okay. So what happened is, let me give you a quick breakdown. A few weeks ago, Vlad had an interview with Ari Spears, another black comedian. And then he brought up how Marlon Wayans wanted to charge him $40,000 for an interview. Now, Vlad went into this whole rant saying that Marlon Wayans isn't worth that amount of money, and that because of his viewership, the viewership that Marlon has on his individual solo interviews, I know that's redundant, but his solo interviews, he has like accumulated like up to no more than 300,000. You know, from his Breakfast Club interview, his Big Boys neighborhood interview, all that stuff, right? So he didn't feel compelled enough to pay Marlon Wayans that much. And he felt like it was a slap in the face because Marlon didn't mess with him like that, you know. Now, since that, Vlad did apologize to Marlon Wayans, but not before going at him on Twitter, asking other guests about how ridiculous that price was. Now, Vlad has all the opinions that he can have. You know, he does this YouTube thing. He's one of the biggest platforms on YouTube. He really is one of the ones that kind of helped start this whole podcast wave with the interviews and stuff like that. Gotta respect him for that. But he put him on blast. He put Marlon Wayans on blast and tried to assassinate Marlon Wayans' character. You know, just saying that he's not worth this and everything like that. So it was crazy. So Marlon responded to him, was roasting Vlad, talk about his beard, and you know, he did bring up the race issue, which everybody does for Vlad. You know, how white men get too comfortable thinking that they run the culture and all this other stuff, right? So they had a big back and forth, right? And lo and behold, what happened is, instead of Vlad not calling Marlon Wayans out, causing all this controversy, right? He could have reconciled with him or did something. You know, it is what it is. They weren't going to do the interview, but instead of Marlon saying, you know what, I'm going to continue to talk ish about Vlad, I'm going to just keep going at him and everything like that. What Marlon did, he ended up going on Club Shay Shay. And that is Vlad's arch nemesis. And I'm only saying that because I feel like Vlad, this whole reason this stuff is happening is because DJ Vlad is a hater. He's hating on Shannon Sharp. Ever since Shannon Sharp did that Cat Williams interview and got way more views than Vlad has ever had for one single video, boy, Vlad had a bug in his ass about that. But anyway, he went to Club Shay Shay. Marlon Wayans took his talents to Club Shay Shay, and I doubt that he even charged him. But Vlad talked all that stuff about how Marlon Wayans isn't worth paying $40,000 for an interview, and that he blames Club Shay Shay because of the Cat Williams interview, all this other stuff. So when Marlon Wayans went over there, this is the first thing that he said. So he ended up getting over 1 million views within the first 10 hours. Now look at this. This is Marlon Wayans' Instagram. He said 1 million plus views in 10 hours. Checkmate. A gentleman's game. Now, everybody in the comments knew what he was talking about. There goes Lorenz Tate, another legendary black actor. Keep shining. Everybody was talking about Vlad played himself. What a great interview. All that, right? Now, what I'll say is this. DJ Vlad, the joke is on you, DJ Vlad. The joke is on you. See, what you did, instead of keeping quiet, you put this man on blast, basically trying to taint his legacy and embarrass this man, this comedic genius that came from a big family, of a dynasty of legends. You could have kept that in the tuck, but being messy and being trifling that you are, you try to bring it up. My thing is bringing it up just on Twitter. That's one thing. But you have other black comedians on there. You brought it up with DL Hughley. First, you did it with Ari Spears. You brought it up with Academics. And I think it was somebody else, another guest that he had too. But you start talking about this man's business. That man's price is that man's price. Now, I could see from a business standpoint what Vlad was talking about, but all you did was fuel more people to go see the Shannon Sharpe interview. Marlon Wayans knew that this was going to happen, and I bet you Marlon was gauging these views, and he was just like, "Oh, I bet you." Because if you look at Club Shay Shay usually has like 1 million plus views on each interview that he does. Typically, the John Cena interview he just did, I know that's like at 2 million, and it's somebody else that he did recently too, right? But the million, ladies and gentlemen, the million that Marlon Wayans did within the first 10 hours, because it just came out yesterday. Let me show you where it's at right now. Look at these views right here. So we're at, where is it? 2 million. We're over 2 million, over 2 million views, and it's number 2 trending. Over 2 million views, and it's number 2 trending. That is a clapback. That's how you get back at Vlad. All these folks that are in an uproar over Vlad and all the black people that say, you know, we shouldn't go on this platform and all this other stuff. Well, you have alternatives. You know, you can go on the Art of Dialogue. You can come to Red's View. You also can go to Club Shay Shay. So Vlad isn't the end all be all. Now, the man has great content, typically because Vlad interviews, or he's one of the first ones I remember interviewing people who weren't quote unquote relevant. He was interviewing Boosie, Lord Jamar, BG Knockout, Eddie Winslow. The man was interviewing everybody. But this is an example of a white man getting too comfortable in black culture. That's all that it is. That's all that it is. And Vlad had to learn the hard way. Vlad had to learn the hard way. And I'm sure that got money in Shannon's pockets. And I'm quite sure Marlon didn't even probably charge him, but he probably is getting some money off of that interview as well. Now, Vlad said that Marlon wanted $40,000 plus 30% of the revenue from the interviews. And Vlad broke it down, and I'm not disagreeing for Vlad feeling the way that he felt, but the whole thing is bringing it up. Bringing it up. You don't discuss everybody's business. You don't discuss that, because you bringing that up can sabotage your business too, because now everybody is going to want to go to Vlad and say, okay, I heard that you're paying for interviews anyway. You know, you're paying different people for interviews and stuff like that. So, you know, Vlad, this is a joke on you. You fueled everybody to go check out Marlon Wayans, any interview. And it didn't have to just be Club Shay Shay. I bet, because let me tell you this. One of the big reasons that I tuned into that interview is so I could see if Marlon was going to address DJ Vlad. One of the main reasons I watched that interview I was just trying to see if Marlon was going to address DJ Vlad. And he didn't. That's the crazy thing. All he did was give his life story, which is a great interview. I watched all 2 hours and 30 minutes of it. It was a great interview. A lot of stuff that I already knew, but just to hear him talk about, you know, the poverty that he had experienced with his family, and Keenan's come up and Damon's come up and all this. We already had his life story anyway. I'm a big Wayans fan, and I've watched like pretty much all of the recent interviews Marlon has done with the last 10 years. But DJ Vlad, this is your fault. Vlad, this is your fault that this man has 2 million views in less than a day. 2 million views in less than a day. And it's because you fueled that jetpack for everybody to go to Club Shay Shay. And the more that you hate on Shannon Sharpe, because I told you this stems from the whole Cat Williams interview. The more you hate on Shannon Sharpe, the more famous and the more content he's going to have and the more viewership he'll have. The more that you hate on Shannon Sharpe, the more money he's going to get from views, sponsors, and all this other stuff. See, Vlad is upset that a black man like Shannon Sharpe came from TV, got into the podcast world, and had big success in less than a few years. How long has Club Shay Shay been? I don't even think Club Shay Shay has been out it's been less than 4 years, right? I could be wrong. Maybe he's been doing it longer than that. It hasn't been out that long. Vlad has been doing this YouTube thing for well over a decade. So Vlad does not have as many views for one video. Now, through the month, right? He generates millions of views because Vlad puts out a bunch of clips and then he'll put out the full interview. And he has like 10 different interviews going on at one time. So, of course, he has a lot of viewership that way. But Shannon Sharpe could have one guest, and generate millions of views. And he has the record. Doesn't Cat Williams and him have the biggest interview on YouTube of all time? I think it's over 70 million views now. And Vlad tried to hate on him in his pockets. He was hating on him in his pocket, saying there's no way that you made more off one interview that you did in your whole NFL career. He said all that other stuff, right? And for people who are not YouTubers or content creators, you would think that. But shout out to DJ Academics. Academics went on there and really broke it down. He said the more views that you get, it's not just regular people doing ads on your video, on your interviews. You got to think of the big companies like Doritos and Nike and stuff like that. They may not be doing it on a smaller platform like ResView, but if I had millions of views, oh, you better believe that all the big companies are going to come. And then he broke it down to where it goes to Facebook and different things like that. So Vlad had to apologize for that. So that's two people. He apologized for Shannon Sharpe, or apologized to Shannon Sharpe, and he apologized to Marlon Wayans. And again, he already apologized to Marlon Wayans, so let me put that out there. But I'm sure Vlad is just swinging. Vlad is just swinging in the air. So mad, so mad. Oh, my God. Yes. But it's because you got too comfortable in the culture. You got too big for your bridges and thought that you could come at Marlon Wayans. All right. You're entitled to feel the way that you feel, even if you feel like that was a slap in the face. I get it. But being messy, bringing it up to other black people, comedians, bringing that up on and having them chime in and talk about it to make this legend look bad, the joke is on you now, DJ Vlad. So it is what it is with that. I love it. I love seeing black people win. Marlon is a big legend. His family are big legends, and it is what it is. So the joke is on you, DJ Vlad. Shannon Sharpe is laughing all the way to the bank. Marlon Wayans is laughing at you. And I can't wait to see if Vlad addresses this. For that culture vulture stuff, it ain't gonna work. And you can keep hating on Shannon Sharpe all you want. Shannon Sharpe just happens. You got to remember, man, he came from a national syndicated platform. Then he transitioned to YouTube. Now, I know, Vlad, you've done it from the ground up and helped start this whole YouTube content creator revolution and stuff like that. And I give you credit for it. But you can't get too comfortable in black culture. You see what happens? You should have kept your mouth closed. You should have been quiet. Thank you for apologizing. But think about that the next time you want to bring up somebody's business for their asking price. Thank you. All right. So again, if you're watching this right now, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/RedsView. All right. So let me move on to